talking hat on. Here we go. All right. How's that look? That look good? Yeah. Okay, there we go. I can't do the fart hand sound thing anymore. Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's been quite a while. Yes, it has been. Since I've done any kind of reviews. And, well, there's a couple reasons why. One big, very reason why is burnout. I got burned out. And it's partially it was out of frustration because all I was getting hit up for as far as reviews go is just disposables. Disposable company after disposable company wanted me to review their disposables, and I'm not a fan of disposables. I've made it very clear that, well, yes, they might be able to help people get off cigarettes initially. They're bad for the environment, and honestly, unless they're made in America, we don't know what goes in them. That's the cold, hard truth. Plus, there are smoke shops and gas stations and convenience stores that'll sell to underage, because they don't care. They're shady, they're shisty, they're shifty. So burnout was one thing. Two is I'm moving. I am moving. I'm actually taking a big move. So that's another reason is I'm actually going to be getting out of the game. I'm no longer going to be doing reviews.
What? What the fuck?
And I recorded this. I'm recording this, I should say, because I feel like I owe it to you. I owe it to you to thank you for all the years that you've watched this channel. The ups and downs, your support. Even on the old Vaping with Ken channel before this channel existed. I mean, I had my last cigarette December 31st, 2015. I haven't had a cigarette since. And that's all thanks to vaping. And I got into the vaping industry because of that. Now, for those of you who have followed me for that long of a time, you know that I've gone through ups and downs, trials and tribulations, moving here, moving that, becoming homeless, not being homeless, losing my mom to cancer, having my dad go through cancer, losing friends and family. You've been through a lot with me. Now, while I'm no longer doing reviews, and let's just be honest, I bought about, I would say maybe, out of all the reviews I've done, probably purchased about 98 to 99% of what I've reviewed. A couple things from Vaporesso have been sent to me. A couple things from Geek Vape over the years. And some even from Steam Crave were sent to me. But the majority are things that I've bought. For example, this little guy. Well, the two of them. The Dead Rabbit Solo and the Requiem from Vandy Vape, which still great mod, great little solo coil banger, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm into. You know, I love to review rebuildables. I love to review sub-ohm tanks or even AIOs like this, but disposables have admittedly taken over the market. Being hit up by disposable companies and them saying, can you review it in 2 days? It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. You send it to me, I'll put it through its paces, but it's kind of hard to make a 5 or 7 minute video about disposables when all it is you put it in your mouth and you vape it. And it's so sweet and full of, I mean, it's super sweetened and overflowing with flavor. And it's just oversaturated. And it's going in the wrong direction. I mean, you have ones now that will make phone calls, they'll play video games on them. That's not what vaping was supposed to be about. Vaping was supposed to help you get off cigarettes, not to play video games on your device, not to make phone calls through your device, especially not to download weird, hanky Chinese apps that you don't know what's going to do to your phone or your privacy, just to be able to make a text message. That doesn't sit right with me. Unfortunately, there's not been a lot of innovation as far as sub-ohm tanks or rebuildables like there used to be. You know, as a lot of people call it the Wild Wild West of vaping. Sure, pod systems come out, but they're all kind of the same. You put the liquid in the pod, you put the pod in the battery, and then you vape. It's the performance of the pod, really, and the battery life that you judge. Every once in a while, something like this will come out. Or, a pod device. Notice they're both Vaporesso. I'm a big fan of Vaporesso for a lot of their products. Some of them have missed the mark, but what I would say here is, if you're looking for a good pod system, Vaporesso is a really good way to go, as is Geek Vape. I'm moving on. I'm not going to be in this channel anymore. That's why you haven't heard from me. I got burned out. I started doing my own side project, and that side project has started to take off a little bit more. So that's what I've been doing. And I've really been enjoying it. It's something I feel like I do long term, and it's just a hobby that doesn't cost me anything. It doesn't cause me stress when I have to worry about the government overstepping or certain states overstepping. I'm going to leave it at that because I could ramble on for hours on end about that. But here's what I'll say. I want to give a big thank you to Nick Green, aka Grim Green. He was the gentleman who, almost 10 years ago now, inspired me to start my own vape review channel to help people out there switch from smoking to vaping. And it has been a wild, wild ride. Ups and downs for sure, but it has been some of the best years of my life. I've made a lot of good friends. And it's something I'll never forget. I'm going to point out, I think one of the proudest moments ever was back on the old Vaping with Ken channel when I hosted a 24-hour live stream to help with suicide prevention and awareness. That brought a whole bunch of people together on that live stream for 24 hours. We're talking about hundreds of people. We raised $13,400 in 24 hours. And all of it went to suicide prevention. And that was one of the proudest things I've ever done in my life. And that was all thanks to the vaping community. I will never not look back on that with anything but pride, because we did something important that day. Now granted, every single person that I may have helped switch from smoking tobacco cigarettes over to vaping or using alternative products for nicotine as harm reduction, I'm happy to hear. But just as far as the online YouTube life portion, it's come to an end. I've gotten burnt out on it. It doesn't mean that I'm going to stop advocating. I'm just going to do it more from the background. I'm just not going to be upfront about it. I'm going to be more in the grassroots again. I think one of the other best times here throughout these 10 years was going to the convention in Connecticut in 2019. It's where I got to meet a lot of you face to face for the very first time. And it was really weird. I'm not going to lie. It felt weird being asked for autographs, especially being a small channel that I was. And I happily gave out them. I took photos. It was such a blast. I got to meet a lot of other reviewers. And it was a fun time. And I'll never not have good memories of that. And on one hand, it sucks to say goodbye, but I'm just stepping away from this channel. This channel's still going to go on, just not with me in it. So, if you want to take a look at my side project, it's a gaming channel. Might not be your cup of tea, but there'll be a link in the description below. It's much more family friendly, I'll tell you that much. But for the very last time, I want to thank you very much for watching. As always, I'm Ken. You're beautiful. Keep fighting the good fight and never let go.
Lockdown so I have to do that
Absolutely.
before I sign off.
Oh, one other thing. Fuck the FDA.